Femmes, Famille et Société Magazine. Femmes, Famille et Société Magazine is a radio program produced by the Ministry of Women's Empowerment and the Family, where leaders of female associations, networks, shareholders come and share their views and experiences.
Femmes, Famille et Société Magazine, conception et présentation de la cellule de communication du ministère de la Promotion de la Femme et de la Famille.
Hi dear listeners, I'm happy to be in your company after a month break. I hope in 2018 we will be sharing marvelous moments in the course of our programs. Happy New Year and best wishes to you all. That said, today's program begins a series of production on the celebration of the 33rd edition of the International Women's Day 2018. Stay tuned. Back to you in a moment.
Femmes, Famille et Société Magazine,
le magazine du ministère de la Promotion de la Femme et de la Famille.
Welcome you all on board. As from now, 30 days down count ahead of the celebration of the International Women's Day. That is why Madam Minister called for the first ever preparatory meeting last Tuesday, the 30th of January, during which the Minister of Women's Empowerment and the Family disclosed the 2018 International Women's Day theme and equally presented the fabric. The theme is as follows: intensify the fight against discrimination on women, strengthen partnership to speed up sustainable development. As far as the fabric is concerned, it has two colors, the pink and the orange, and it costs 6,800 francs CFA nationwide.
Il ne s'agit pas d'une journée qui ne tourne autour du pain. Nous réfléchissons, nous agissons, nous nous remettons en cause, nous évaluons ce que nous avons obtenu et nous avons des perspectives d'avenir. La célébration de la Journée internationale de la femme 2017 a été une réussite. Grâce à l'implication totale de toutes les parties prenantes que vous êtes, nous avons atteint les objectifs fixés et nous pouvons nous en féliciter ensemble. Je saisis donc cette occasion pour vous adresser les sincères remerciements du gouvernement pour le précieux concours que vous apportez dans la quête permanente de l'épanouissement intégral de la femme. Cette année, le thème arrêté au plan national s'énonce ainsi, en français je cite: intensifier la lutte contre les discriminations à l'égard des femmes, renforcer le partenariat pour accélérer le développement durable. Fin de citation en anglais. Intensify the fight against discrimination on women. Strengthen partnership to speed up sustainable development. Ce thème traduit non seulement la détermination du gouvernement à vaincre les inégalités entre les hommes et les femmes, mais aussi à renforcer la synergie avec tous les acteurs pour la construction d'une société garantissant le bien-être de tous et celui des générations à venir. Une société dans laquelle les hommes et les femmes jouissent de tous leurs droits citoyens, expriment leur dignité et bénéficient des mêmes chances de participer à la vie de la cité. Mesdames, Messieurs, la célébration de la 33e édition de la Journée internationale de la femme au Cameroun obéira aux valeurs et principes tels que le respect des lois, règlements et institutions, la culture et la promotion de la paix et de l'unité, le respect des droits humains des femmes, le développement durable, le patriotisme, le partenariat inclusif, le respect des mœurs, la préservation de l'harmonie et de la stabilité de la cellule familiale, le bilinguisme, le multiculturalisme et le vivre ensemble. Chacun d'entre nous a un rôle à jouer. L'opportunité nous est donc donnée de réfléchir sur les possibilités d'améliorer les conditions de vie des femmes. Comme par le passé, je vous invite à participer aux échanges pour optimiser les résultats que nous sommes en droit d'attendre. Je vous annonce que les inscriptions sont déjà ouvertes et ce jusqu'au 26 février 2018. Ces inscriptions se font librement et gratuitement auprès des services centraux pour les administrations publiques et les organismes internationaux et les ambassades et dans tous les services déconcentrés du ministère de la promotion de la femme et de la famille basés dans le Fundi. Je rappelle également que le pagne est déjà disponible auprès des vendeurs agréés habituels au prix unique de 6 800 francs CFA.
This first preparatory working session was an appropriate platform for exchange of ideas and experience sharing, where all MINPROF's partners from all walks of life were given the floor on the main challenge of organizing an Itch-Free Women's Day celebration come 8th of March 2018. 4. The event is a moment for great social mobilization. It is in this light that, before closing the working session, Madam Minister Marie-Thérèse Abenaundoa exhorted each and everyone in carrying out more reflection activities in light of this year's theme. Women's Day is not limited to the fabric, she stressed. So, indeed, it needs a national assessment of measures already taken so far in promoting gender equality. It is a fact that gender-based discrimination is being experienced with a negative impact on development, peace, social justice, democracy, and human rights protection initiatives. Moreover, sustainable development is considered in Cameroon as a means of achieving progress by taking into account the well-being of future generations, where men and women fully enjoy their citizen rights, offered equal opportunities in order to actively participate with dignity in the nation-building process. In other news, yesterday, the 6th of February 2018, Cameroon, together with the international community, commemorated the 11th edition of the International Day of Zero Tolerance to Female Genital Mutilation, FGM, under the theme End Female Genital Mutilation, a Political Decision. To highlight the event, the Minister of Women's Empowerment and the Family delivered a communique in the presence of pressmen and women in the conference hall of her ministry. She seized the opportunity to highlight the context and the justification of this year's theme. Female genital mutilation is a harmful and painful practice which is detrimental to the health of young girls and women. Furthermore, about 2 million girls worldwide are exposed to risk of sexual mutilation every year. Cameroon, therefore, together with development partners and the civil society organizations, are committed to bring to an end such practices. It is a concern for all, for physical and psychological suffering caused by FGM often resulted into deaths. That was the package for you in this program. Benjamin Bokali is our sound technician. On behalf of the entire crew of Femme, Famille et Société magazine, I am Marie-Bernadette Esimbe signing off. Stay tuned. Enjoy the company of CRTV National Station. Bye-bye.
C'était Femmes, Famille et Société magazine, le magazine du ministère de la Promotion de la Femme et de la Famille, produit en partenariat avec le poste national de la Cameroun Radio Television.
Femmes, Famille et Société magazine. Femme, Famille et Société magazine is a radio program produced by the Ministry of Women's Empowerment and the Family, where leaders of female associations, networks, shareholders come and share their views and experiences.
Femmes, Famille et Société magazine, conception et présentation de la cellule de communication du ministère de la Promotion de la Femme et de la Famille.
Today, dear listeners, we are starting a series of editions of our regular program on the new dispositions of the law number 2016/007 of 12 July 2016 of the Penal Code in relation to the protection of women's, children's and families' rights. In our midst in the studio to dwell on this issue is Barrister Panje Roland, head of the legal unit in the Ministry of Women's Empowerment and the Family. Please have a comfortable seat, a pen, a notebook, ready to acquire knowledge. Back to you all immediately after the musical break.
Femmes, Famille et Société magazine,
le magazine du ministère de la Promotion de la Femme et de la Famille.
Welcome back to the program. The revision of the 1967 Cameroon Penal Code led to major innovations as far as the rights of the child, woman and the family are concerned. This 2016 Penal Code, therefore, took into consideration regional and international conventions ratified by Cameroon, notably the Protocol to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights on the Rights of Women, commonly known as the Maputo Protocol, and the United Nations Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Female Discrimination and the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of the Child. This new legal instrument highlights the head of state policy of protection and promotion of gender in Cameroon, and in the long run, these new dispositions as well are in line with the missions of the Ministry of Women's Empowerment and the Family in order to meet up with the needs of her target populations across the nation. Barrister, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Barrister, I think there are various sections, but our main topic today will be on families' rights. What is adultery all about? And you can cite some of the articles contained in the Penal Code.
Adultery is the act of having sexual relation between a spouse and another person who is not the wife. That is to say, a married man having sexual relationship with another woman who is not necessarily his wife, and a wedded woman having an extramarital relationship. And the onus of proof is on the person who finds the other one committing the act of adultery.
So it means that in this article there is equality between spouses?
Yes, there is equality because the previous penal code laid the onus of proof on the woman, because for the woman to justify that her husband was caught in the act of adultery, she had to, unquote and unquote, catch the man with the woman on their marital bed, and not just once, but several times.
And what is the case today?
The new disposition today cuts across, whether it is the man or the woman, as long as there is ground to ascertain that you have a relationship with another person who is not your spouse, amounts to adultery. And there is another proviso that is a bit silent in that this adultery, which is punishable by Article 361 of the Penal Code, does not only say that you should catch them, unquote and unquote, performing the act, but just looking at the opposite sex amorously or assuming positions that can infer the thinking that you would like to have a relationship with that person, equally amounts to adultery. By so doing, you can be punished for 2 to 6 months or with a fine from 25,000 to 100,000. But this very issue of adultery is a bit dicey because of the social standing of the African family. For the sake of family cohesion, it is not stretched to the justifiable level of the law, because even though jurisprudence says that an offense is an offense, but the sacredness of the African family does not oftentimes give room for judicial matters. But at least there is this new disposition of the Article 361 of this new penal code that punishes the man like the woman equally, if and only if adultery, the ingredients of adultery, are justified.
That article, does it mean that only the man is punishable, or is both spouses, the man or the wife, for everybody to know and understand?
That is, it cuts across, because you have to provide moral or material obligation. The wife might not be the breadwinner, but she has a primordial role to play in the house to maintain the harmony and cohesion of the family. But if she abandons the house, let me use the word, and goes somewhere else without making provisions for the children's feeding as well as the upkeep of her husband, she will equally be punished with imprisonment from 3 months to 1 year, or with a fine to 500,000 francs. However, the same punishment will apply to guardians or person responsible for the custody, care, and control of children under his care. And if it is ascertained that he is a runaway breadwinner or caretaker, the punishment shall be doubled. To move a bit further in the protection of the family, women are the pivot of every family. So if that woman is being assaulted, that is being battered, being insulted, psychologically, physically, morally, economically, Article 338 of the Penal Code will punish the perpetrator with imprisonment as from 5 to 10 years, with a fine. They will imprison you, and you will still pay a fine from 100,000 francs to 2 million for assault on woman and the child.
I want you to insist on the role of our target population. Here we are talking about women. Are they aware of all these changes?
I would like to thank the Minister of Women's Empowerment and the Family, Professor Marie-Therese Abena-Ondua Obama, because since this penal code was promulgated into law, she has multiplied sensitization campaigns over the media, the print, the television, and the radio, and she has equally carried out workshops to train trainers and peer educators who will go to the field to explain the new provisions of this new provisions that protect the woman and the family in our local languages. Maintenance means what? You have to provide to your family minimum subsistence. That is, each family has to eat. The children have to go to school. If any of the family member is ill, you have to provide medical attention. And above all else, in the provision of this maintenance, you, the breadwinner, should not complain, because it is a duty that is incumbent on you. So that Article 180, if you read it in line with Article 358, which talks of desertion, in fact, such a person is not spared by the long arms of the law. And to stretch it a bit, there is another offense which they call eviction from the matrimonial home. Once you are married with a marriage certificate duly signed, served and delivered, in the absence of your spouse, whether he is dead or has abandoned the home or has deserted you or has evaded himself, like his family members, have no right to evict you from that house. And your husband has no right to sell that house without your consent. If it is sold, that person has lost his money. And on the other hand, for that woman to benefit from the law on eviction from the matrimonial home, she should be in possession of a marriage certificate. The Cameroonian law does not recognize concubinage. That is what we call come and stay, or come we stay. So Even if you make 10 children with that man and you don't have a marriage certificate, this article of eviction from the matrimonial home, you will not benefit from it. So women, plead with your spouse to go to the council and sign your marriage certificate. In fact, come closer to the services of the Ministry of Women's Empowerment and the Family, because they often and all the times organize collective marriages where you pay little or nothing, and with the assistance from the ministry, you shall be issued a marriage certificate.
Thank you for the moment.
You are welcome.
Since the adoption into law, the 2016 Penal Code, the Ministry of Women's Empowerment has been carrying out educative information sessions on this innovation of the Penal Code in the 10 regions. We caught up with Madame Bokono Bernadette Françoise, who is the focal point of the Center region and was recently in Balmayo to conduct an educative talk on the subject with about 100 women in that locality. The sub-director of the promotion of women's rights in the Ministry of Women's Empowerment and the Family comes back on the essence of that activity.
Le ministère de la promotion de la femme et de la famille est en charge de lutter contre toutes les formes de discrimination faites aux femmes. C'est pour cela que dans notre feuille de route ministérielle 2018, nous avons essayé de mettre en œuvre certaines actions pour vulgariser nos nouveaux codes pénals promulgués depuis le 16 juillet 2018. Cette vulgarisation vide beaucoup plus la population sociale parce que nous disons s'il faut sensibiliser pour les nouvelles dispositions concernant les femmes, la famille et l'enfant, il faut déjà que les femmes même s'approprient d'abord leurs droits parce que les femmes ne connaissent pas leurs droits. Et quand elles vont s'approprier leurs droits, elles vont s'approprier les articles du nouveau code pénal et ça va amener le changement de mentalité au sein des familles, au sein des communautés. Les points saillants, il y a la non-scolarisation de la jeune fille. Nous savons que la jeune fille est la nation de demain. Si la jeune fille ne va pas à l'école, ça ne sert à rien. Si la jeune fille va en mariage précocement, ça ne sert à rien. Si la jeune fille est violée, c'est pour cela que nous essayons de vulgariser certains articles comme les mutilations génitales féminines, la scolarisation de la jeune fille, le mariage forcé et l'adultère pour amener l'harmonie au sein des familles.
Always have passion to learn, for knowledge is that vital tool for sustainable development. It is on this note that we wrap up this edition of Femme, Famille et Société magazine. We have been Benjamin Bokali, our sound technician, Barrister Banjé Roland, Madame Bokono Bernadette Françoise. On the microphone for presentation, I am Marie Bernadette Esimbi. Hope you did enjoy this first part of the program. Next, more educative radio programs on the CRTV national station. Bye bye.
C'était Femmes, Famille et Société magazine, le magazine du ministère de la Promotion de la Femme et de la Famille, produit en partenariat avec le poste national de la Cameroun Radio Television.